Cathay Pacific is one of the most highly ranked airlines in the world. As a matter of fact, just last year they returned to the global top 5 airlines in the industry rankings. That's because they're always looking to improve their offer and service. Cathay Pacific is one of the highest ranked airlines in the world. Just last year, it returned to the global top 5 airlines in the industry rankings. That success comes from constantly improving its service and fleet, but now its plans have run into a serious problem. Boeing 777X, the jet it was counting on for the future, has been delayed again. Originally set for 2020, the aircraft has faced engine issues, certification problems, and a failed stress test. Cathay has waited long enough and patience is running out. How much damage will this delay cause? Why is Boeing struggling to get the jet ready? And could this push airlines to start walking away for the first time? Cathay's leadership is publicly calling out Boeing, and they are not holding back. Cathay Pacific is not mincing words anymore. Alex McGowan, the airline's Chief Operations and Service Delivery Officer, recently made it clear just how frustrated they are with Boeing. His statement was blunt. "We want all our aircraft and we'd like them to be delivered at the time that they're promised." That might sound like a reasonable request, but when you consider the context, it's a pretty damning indictment. Cathay has been waiting for years for the 777X, and the delays keep piling up. McGowan didn't just call the situation a disappointment, he hinted at deeper frustrations brewing behind the scenes. And this isn't just about one airline venting. Cathay Pacific has been a loyal Boeing customer for decades. They've got 21 of these 777X jets on order, and their entire fleet strategy is built around getting these planes. But with every delay, those plans are falling apart. They're not alone either. Emirates, Lufthansa, and Singapore Airlines, some of the biggest names in aviation, have all voiced similar concerns. It's not just Cathay, it's a chorus of discontent. The bigger issue here is Boeing's inability to deliver on its promises. The 777X was supposed to be a state-of-the-art aircraft that would set a precedent in long-haul travel. Instead, airlines are stuck using older, less efficient planes while they wait. And for some, like Cathay, that wait is becoming too costly to ignore. This isn't just a hiccup in production, it's a symptom of a much larger problem for Boeing, one that's starting to push even its most loyal customers toward the competition. When the 777X was originally announced in 2013, it was seen as Boeing's next step. It was called the largest, most efficient twin-engine jet in the world. It was supposed to not only rival the A350, but to completely overshadow it. Well, 12 years have passed since, and all we've seen from Boeing have been failed tests, delays, and cost overruns. The jet was designed with bold promises, massive GE9X engines, foldable wingtips to improve airport compatibility, and better fuel efficiency than any previous 777 model. On paper, it sounded like the perfect aircraft for airlines looking to modernize their fleets. In reality, things have gone very differently. The first delivery was supposed to happen in 2020, then it was pushed to 2022, then 2025, and now 2026, if things go according to plan, which at this point is a big if. Regulatory issues, engine durability problems, and a high-profile stress test failure have all stalled the program. A major setback came when a test aircraft suffered a door blowout during certification, something that sent red flags to safety regulators. Meanwhile, engine issues have forced Boeing back to the drawing board multiple times, delaying progress even further. For airlines like Cathay Pacific, this is more than frustrating. It's a logistical nightmare. They need these aircraft to replace aging fleets and expand operations. But with Boeing unable to meet its deadlines, plans are falling apart. Other carriers, Emirates, Lufthansa, and Singapore Airlines, are in the same position, and patience is wearing thin. The question is, how much longer will these airlines wait before they start looking for alternatives? Cathay Pacific was supposed to be one of the major airlines leading the way with Boeing's next-generation aircraft. They had plans to integrate the 777X as the backbone of their long-haul fleet, maintaining a close relationship with Boeing for decades to come. But with years of missed deadlines, that vision has been forced to change. Instead of waiting indefinitely, Cathay has started shifting its strategy. In August 2024, the airline placed an order for 30 A330 NEOs with options for 30 more. That was a strong indication that they were rethinking their fleet plans, but they didn't stop there. Now, alongside those jets, they also secured 6 A350 freighters, another major signal that they're diversifying their future operations. On paper, Cathay was expected to maintain a fleet where Boeing played a dominant role. The 777X was supposed to be the centerpiece of their long-haul operations, replacing older aircraft and delivering better efficiency across their international network. But as delays continue, the airline is finding itself in a difficult position. They need new planes to stay competitive, and Boeing keeps pushing back their timelines. Cathay is not alone in making adjustments. Other major airlines that had banked on the 777X have started placing larger orders with Airbus as well. Lufthansa, Qatar Airways, and Singapore Airlines have all expanded their Airbus fleets while waiting for Boeing to get its act together. These weren't originally backup plans. At this point, they're necessary moves to avoid relying too much on an aircraft that keeps missing its scheduled arrival. Every time Boeing delays the 777X, it gives Airbus another opportunity to step in. The more this drags on, the harder it will be for Boeing to recover the trust of airlines that have already been burned. Boeing and General Electric built the GE9X with a clear goal: make it the most efficient commercial jet engine ever. Lighter, quieter, and designed to burn less fuel than anything before it. That was the pitch. But in reality, things have not gone as planned. From the start, the GE9X has struggled. Early tests showed durability issues, with cracks appearing in critical components, including the engine mounts. Then came the stress test failures. The problems were severe enough that regulators stepped in, grounding test flights and pushing back certification even further. For Cathay Pacific, this is a disaster. Their 777X orders depend on the GE9X being fully approved. Without certification, deliveries cannot happen. And even when the green light finally comes, will the engine actually live up to Boeing's promises? That is the big unknown. The engine was supposed to offer unmatched efficiency. But if it cannot hold up under real-world conditions, those fuel savings do not mean much. Airlines rely on predictability, maintenance schedules, fuel performance, and long-term reliability. Right now, the GE9X is not giving them that confidence. The longer this drags on, the more airlines are forced to rely on older aircraft. Planes that burn more fuel, cost more to maintain, and lack the performance improvements they were expecting. Cathay Pacific is already adapting by keeping some of its older jets in service longer than planned. And they are not alone. Every month of delay makes airlines lose more money. The longer this takes, the more Cathay and others are forced to rethink their fleet strategy. If the GE9X does not prove itself soon, airlines may decide the 777X is not worth waiting for at all. Boeing's problems are not just technical, they are financial. The company needs around $25 billion just to keep production running and clear its massive backlog. And this is not just about the 777X. The 737 MAX is still facing certification hurdles. The 787 Dreamliner has its own delivery delays. The 777X setbacks have airlines scrambling for alternatives. Boeing is juggling too many crises at once, and customers are losing patience. So how did it get to this point? For years, Boeing focused on stock buybacks and short-term profits instead of reinvesting in research and development. It kept shareholders happy, but now those decisions are coming back to haunt them. Development costs have soared, production schedules are slipping, and the company is stretched thin, trying to fix one issue after another. Meanwhile, Airbus keeps delivering planes without major disruptions, solidifying its lead in the market. For Cathay, this instability is a serious problem. Airlines rely on predictable production schedules to plan their fleets. Boeing right now is not giving them that. If delays keep stacking up, Cathay Pacific may be forced to rethink its 777X orders altogether, and they would not be the first. Airbus is in a much stronger position to deliver on time, and they know it. The A350 has already proven itself as a reliable long-haul jet, and the A330neo offers an attractive alternative for carriers that do not want to wait on Boeing. If Cathay decides to shift even more orders to Airbus, it could mark a major turning point. Boeing is running out of time. If it cannot stabilize its production and finances, Cathay Pacific's fleet and the future of the industry could start looking very different. This is not just a Cathay Pacific problem. The entire industry is facing the same issue when you look at it more closely. Airlines around the globe counted on the 777X to modernize their fleets. But with repeated delays, owners and managers are starting to grow impatient. This was not a cheap project by any means. Quite the opposite, actually. Boeing put everything into this aircraft, expecting it to lead the long-haul market for decades. But right now, it is looking more like a liability than an advantage. And while Boeing struggles to get the 777X off the ground, Airbus is pulling further ahead. The A350 is already proving to be the aircraft of choice for many airlines. It is flying today. It is efficient, and most importantly, it is available. More and more carriers that originally bet on Boeing are shifting their focus to Airbus instead. Lufthansa, Qatar Airways, and even Emirates, one of Boeing's most loyal customers, have all expanded their Airbus orders. The longer the delays continue, the more Boeing risks losing major customers permanently. For Cathay Pacific, the question is not just how long they can afford to wait, it is whether waiting makes sense at all. If Boeing fails to deliver by 2026, Cathay Pacific could be forced to reconsider its entire 777X order, and if they cancel, they would not be the first. That would be a crushing blow. Losing one major airline is bad enough, but if multiple carriers start walking away, the 777X could go down as one of Boeing's biggest missteps. Boeing's reputation and its dominance in long-haul aviation hang in the balance. If it cannot fix these issues soon, the 777X may not be the future of air travel after all. Cathay Pacific's frustration with Boeing is a warning sign for the entire aviation industry. The 777X was meant to be the future. But after years of missed deadlines, technical failures and financial setbacks, airlines are running out of patience. Cathay Pacific is not alone. Other major carriers have also voiced concerns, and many have already started shifting their orders to Airbus. The A350 is flying, delivering fuel savings, and proving to be a reliable option, something Boeing cannot offer right now. For Boeing, the stakes couldn't be higher. If Cathay Pacific or any other major airline cancels its 777X orders, it could start a chain reaction that the company may struggle to recover from. Boeing has already lost ground in the narrow-body market to Airbus. If it cannot deliver on the long-haul side, it risks losing even more. At this point, the pressure is on. Either Boeing fixes the 777X or airlines will start making decisions for them. The clock is ticking, and every delay makes it harder to believe the aircraft will ever live up to expectations. The question now is simple. How much longer can Boeing afford to keep airlines waiting? Thank you everyone for watching. If you like this video, please remember to like and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.